Hey, what's up, guys? This is John.
And Brian.
And we are here with EurobeatBrony.
Hello.
We were lucky enough to get an interview with him. So I guess we can get right into it. So, first question is, when and how did you get into the fandom?
It's a good question. I started getting involved with sort of watching the show, I would say, late December, early January. I started sort of resorting to cartoons and some anime after my grandfather had died in October. And I was sort of using that to sort of cope for the time being. And I saw people posting these cartoon horses and talking about it as if it was actually any good. And I'm like, this can't be serious. This cannot be right.
Yeah.
And I look it up, and sure enough, in this board that is so focused on Batman and Spider-Man and, graphic novels that are, dark and gritty and serious, people unironically enjoying this show, saying, no, trust me, it's really good. Give it a shot. And so, out of curiosity, this was my first semester on campus, I think, I started watching a couple episodes, and a couple more, and a couple more, and I started liking the show. I actually wasn't as big on it the first couple of days, because I was like, this is okay. This is not great, but, it's okay.
Right.
It took me a little while to really start rolling into the fandom as it was.
Now, this was happening all in 2010, correct? Or was this?
I think this was early 2011.
Okay.
2010. Oh, gosh, that was like November, December 2010 when it all started.
Okay.
I was a little later to the party. I would say, well, let's see, Evil Enchantress was late January 2011, so I think I started knowing about the show really late 2010.
Okay.
That's a generous figure. I might be a little later.
That's actually quite surprising, since you're one of the first pony music makers in the fandom.
Actually, I'm still not 100% sure on that fact. I'm not sure if Renard, or I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It is Renard, right? Put his song out first. I think I predate him, but I'm just not sure. If someone knows this for sure, please let me know. Actually, but to my knowledge, I think I put the first remix out.
Okay. So second question we have for you, were you making Eurobeat music before ponies?
Most definitely. Easily a couple of years prior. Before then, I was actually on the Super Eurobeat series a couple of times, as well as a couple of Dojin projects in Japan, a couple of series. I've actually been on that series ever since its installment, the Toho Eurobeat series, volumes 1 through 6. Yeah, I've been involved in Eurobeat for a few years now. I'm not exactly sure when. I can't recall the year off the top of my head, but yeah, I've done Eurobeat for quite a few years before I was even aware of what a Fluttershy was.
All right. This question is from Brian. What programs do you use for your music?
It's a good question. I use Logic Pro 9 on a MacBook Pro. I used to use an ancient version of Cakewalk and Cubase. Let's see. Are we talking plugins or just kind of the main program?
The main.
Okay, mostly Logic Pro 9. To those who are interested in starting out, you don't need Logic and you don't need a Mac to make music. You can, but don't let anyone suggest that you need one of those things. Any DAW, any program, FL Studio, Ableton Live, Pro Tools, whatever floats your boat. You could pound on dirt with a spoon and record that with Audacity, and that would be totally fine. Make it however you want to make it. But yeah, I just use Logic. Just really like how it handles MIDI and sort of note information.
Does running Mac make it easier, though, to make your music, though?
Honestly, I don't think the operating system would make much of a difference. The most that it does... Well, the reason I use a Mac is Logic is specific to Macs. It's not available on PC. If it was available on PC, I'd probably switch over, because Mac is just a very expensive operating system to own.
I agree.
It's simply by the hardware, but there's ways to get. It's a long story. Like, run whatever operating system you want. If you got Linux, you got Red Hat or Fedora or Ubuntu or whatever flavor of operating system you got. If there's a music program and you want to use it, use it.
Go for it.
Yeah. I'm not going to be one of those people who, you must use Ableton Live, you must use Massive, you must... Make good music first. Worry about the details like that later.
Right.
Okay. Another question for me is, what piqued your interest in this particular style of music being Eurobeat?
that's a good question. I was raised with a bunch of different styles of music, and I found that I really liked synthesized music. You know,
Okay.
a lot of 80s cheesy pop, and you know, also a lot of really cheesy power metal. For some reason, I seem to be drawn to the cheese. And a lot of the music that I wrote when I just started out on like this really cheap abandonware MIDI sequencer was very fast, very synth-based, and it's almost like Eurobeat found me. You know, I found this strange 4-arrow dancing game walking on the beach boardwalk, and the music sounded interesting, although I couldn't understand a word they were saying, and I wanted to know more. I wanted to look it up and figure out what was going on and see if I could get that for myself, because it sounded so much like what I already do, but, you know, better produced, better sung, things of that sort, you know, with talent. So I started figuring that out, and then I've done Eurobeat ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah, this was like early to middle school, and I'm 23 now, if that's a good frame of reference.
Okay.
Second question from Brian is, do you plan on making any pony music besides the Eurobeat genre?
Absolutely. I have not only have I done the Luna Jazz mode on Volume 1 alternate remixes, I have a song in the works, although it may pull a Duke Nukem and just never come out. Wild Joe's Eurobeat Band is going to be doing a song that is not Eurobeat. It's going to be more bluegrass, sort of country sort of thing. Yeah, I do plan on doing some non-Eurobeat styles at some point, in the very near future, actually.
Okay. And then the final question from us is, who is, in your opinion, best pony and why?
Oh, this question. I can't really defend best pony, because it's like, what standard are we going by? I usually go with Fluttershy because cute ponies doing cute things. That's to my mind, sort of one of the big points of the show, one of the big draws of the show, rather. Fluttershy because cute. Honestly, that's my answer. People can disagree. People can tell me otherwise. A lot of people get upset that I don't say Applejack. She's number 2. Don't worry, we're good. But yeah, Fluttershy's number 1 for me.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys for the next part of our vlog.
All right. Peace.